make any more loud suggestions. Now then, will you please stay?
The American sitcom Happy Days first graced television screens in January 1974. On ABC, captivating audiences until its conclusion in 1984. Over its decade-long run, the show delivered 255 half-hour episodes filled with nostalgia and humor. The series originated from an unsold pilot featuring Ron Howard, Marion Ross, and Anson Williams, which aired in 1972 as a segment titled Love in the television set. This segment was later rebranded as Love and the Happy Days, and showcased on ABC's anthology series Love, American Style. As the show evolved, it became a cultural phenomenon, particularly through the character of Arthur the FONZ Fonzarelli, played by Henry Winkler. The FONZ became an icon of coolness and charm, leading to various myths and urban legends surrounding his character. One such legend suggests that the FONZ had an almost supernatural ability to attract women and effortlessly handle any situation. However, these tales often stray far from the truth, painting a picture that exaggerates his charisma and influence. Exploring these myths reveals how the character was crafted to appeal to the audience's fantasies, while remaining grounded in the relatable experiences of teenage life. The FONZ's signature leather jacket and confident demeanor became symbols of rebellion and freedom, but the real story behind the character is far less dramatic than the legends suggest. As fans reminisce about their favorite moments from Happy Days, the tales surrounding the FONZ often take on a life of their own, illustrating how pop culture can blur the lines between reality and fiction. The influence of the FONZ endures, but the stories spun around him often reflect the collective imagination more than the character's actual experiences.
Oh, great. I better get going.
Yeah, well, now we'll drive you.
I'll warm up the car, huh?
I'll get your coat.
The show was without a doubt one of the most successful shows of the 1970s, and was created by Gary Marshall, who is a visionary in television production. Set in the mid-1950s to the 1960s, the series captures the essence of life in the Midwest of the United States. It revolves around the Cunningham family, particularly focusing on the teenage son, Richie Cunningham, and his friends, including the iconic character Arthur "Fonzie" Fonzarelli. The show portrays the everyday experiences of teenagers during a time when rock and roll was rising, and social norms were beginning to shift. The charm of Happy Days lies in its nostalgic representation of American culture, showcasing family values, friendship, and the simple joys of youth. The characters often find themselves in humorous situations, highlighting the challenges and triumphs of growing up. The setting, with its classic diners, drive-ins, and sock hops, creates a vivid backdrop that resonates with audiences. The show's blend of comedy, heartfelt moments, and memorable catchphrases contributed to its lasting appeal, and made it a beloved staple of American television. The combination of relatable characters and engaging storylines captured the hearts of viewers, ensuring that Happy Days became a defining show of its era and a significant part of television history.
Their bounteous feast and brotherhood. And that's what Thanksgiving is about.
The series features Ron Howard as Richie Cunningham, a character who embodies the typical American teenager of the 1950s and early 1960s. Richie's best friend is Arthur "Fonzie" Fonzarelli, played by Henry Winkler. Fonzie is the cool, leather-jacketed greaser who becomes a beloved figure in the show, known for his charm and laid-back attitude. Richie's family plays a central role in the series, with Tom Bosley and Marion Ross portraying his parents, Howard and Marion Cunningham. Howard Cunningham runs a local hardware store, representing the hardworking, middle-class American father. His character often provides wisdom and guidance to Richie and his friends. Marion Cunningham is depicted as a traditional homemaker, nurturing and supportive, embodying the values of family life during that era. Richie also has a younger sister named Joni Cunningham, who adds to the family dynamic and often finds herself involved in the youthful adventures of her brother and his friends. The interactions among these characters highlight the values of friendship, family, and the challenges of growing up in a changing world. The setting and characters create a nostalgic atmosphere that resonates with audiences, making the show a classic representation of its time.
The four of us singing glory be to God, and there are no...
Richie's friends, Potsy Weber and Ralph Malph, are two of the most colorful characters in the series. Potsy is known for his goofy charm and often finds himself in hilarious situations, while Ralph is the quintessential jokester, always ready with a quick quip. Together, they bring a light-hearted and comedic element to Richie's life, making every day an adventure. Their antics often lead them into trouble, but their loyalty to each other is unwavering. Adding to this dynamic is Arthur Fonzie Fonzarelli, a high school dropout who stands out as a greaser and a suave ladies' man. Fonzie's cool demeanor and confident swagger make him an iconic figure in the series. Initially, he appears as a tough guy, but as the show progresses, he reveals a softer side, becoming a mentor to Richie and his friends. Fonzie's relationship with the Cunningham family deepens as he eventually becomes a tenant in their garage. His friendship with Richie grows, and he often helps him navigate the ups and downs of teenage life. The combination of Potsy, Ralph, and Fonzie creates a unique blend of humor and heart, making their adventures memorable and beloved by fans. The trio's interactions reflect the spirit of the 1950s and 1960s, showcasing the challenges and joys of adolescence. Their bond is a testament to friendship, loyalty, and the fun of growing up together. The series captures the essence of youth, with its ups and downs, laughter, and life lessons learned along the way.
Go now, sweetie. Thank you. All right. Well, we're certainly going to keep this in. Well, you can leave now, honey. Thank you. You come back and...
As the series' happy days began, Fonzie was introduced as a secondary character, initially serving as a tough but cool motorcycle mechanic who had a strong presence. His character was designed to complement the main cast, particularly Richie Cunningham and his friends. However, as the show progressed, viewers quickly became enamored with Fonzie's charm, charisma, and unique style. The audience's growing affection for him led the show's creators to rethink his role. They recognized that Fonzie was not just a side character, but a standout figure who resonated deeply with fans. In response to his rising popularity, the writers began to shift the focus of various storylines to include Fonzie more prominently. Episodes that originally centered around other characters started to incorporate his experiences, relationships, and adventures. His character evolved from a mere supporting role to one of the central figures in the series. Fonzie's interactions with other characters, especially his friendship with Richie and his mentorship role, became key elements of the show's narrative. The writers crafted story arcs that showcased his depth, humor, and loyalty, making him a beloved icon of the series. Through these changes, Fonzie not only became a symbol of the 1950s and 1960s American youth culture, but also a testament to how audience engagement can shape a television series. His character's journey reflected a blend of rebellion and heart, capturing the essence of the era while appealing to a wide audience. The transformation of Fonzie from a secondary character to a fan favorite illustrates the dynamic nature of television storytelling and the powerful connection between characters and viewers.
Sense, but I'd go with you if you wanted me to.
Thanks.
Remember, I'm with you.
When Gary Marshall was first approached by Paramount to create a new sitcom in 1971, they envisioned something set in the 1920s or the 30s. Marshall told them that he knew nothing about flappers, but he could write a show about the era in which he spent his teen years and young adult time, the 1950s. This was a pivotal moment in the development of what would eventually become Happy Days. Marshall's personal connection to the 1950s allowed him to draw from his own experiences and memories, creating a show that was authentic and relatable. The 1950s setting also provided a unique backdrop for the show, allowing Marshall to explore themes of nostalgia, innocence, and the dawn of the modern era. By drawing from his own life, Marshall was able to craft a show that would resonate with audiences and become a beloved classic.
Marion, I don't want to hear about Raoul again.
Initially, a pilot was created that focused on a Midwestern family who had just bought their first television set, the very first one in their neighborhood. The teenage son in this family had big plans for the new TV. He thought it could serve as a chick magnet, attracting girls to their home. This concept was fresh and relatable, capturing the excitement of a time when television was becoming an essential part of American life. However, despite the promising idea, the series did not sell. Like many pilots that failed to gain traction, this one was relegated to a dumping ground. It was included in a show called Love American Style, which was known for featuring various short segments and pilots that did not find their own series. The journey of this pilot reflects the challenges of television production, where many ideas, no matter how creative, can sometimes miss the mark with audiences and networks alike. The story of this family and their television dreams, while never fully realized, remains a piece of television history.
Okay, but Fonzie, not join? I'm all packed. You told me it was the right thing.
Initially, the creator of the series had a different vision for the title, wanting to call it cool. However, during test screenings, audiences reacted negatively to that name, associating it with cigarettes. This feedback prompted a reevaluation of the title. One of the producers suggested changing it to Happy Days, a name that resonated better with viewers. The essence of the show focused on the concept of happier times, capturing the spirit of the 1950s and early 1960s. The series depicted the lives of the Cunningham family and their friends, showcasing the joys and challenges of adolescence. The characters, including the iconic FONZ, became beloved figures, representing a carefree and optimistic era. The shift to Happy Days not only aligned with the show's themes, but also helped it gain popularity and enduring appeal. The series ultimately became a classic, celebrated for its lighthearted portrayal of youth and family life in a simpler time.
Listen, Frankie.
Despite his initial hesitations, Ron Howard found himself at a crossroads in his career during the early 1970s. He had recently enrolled at the University of Southern California's School of Cinematic Arts, focusing on his ambition to become a director. This was a significant step for him, as he aimed to shift his career from acting to behind-the-scenes work in the film industry. However, a nagging concern loomed over him. He had a low draft number, which meant he could potentially be called to serve in the military during the Vietnam War. This uncertainty weighed heavily on his mind as he considered his options. While he was not actively seeking another television series, the opportunity to join Happy Days came to him at a pivotal moment. The show offered a chance to work with a talented cast and a creative team, which could provide valuable experience. Ultimately, he had to weigh his desire to pursue directing against the immediate realities of his situation. The decision was not just about taking a role. It was about navigating his future in a time of personal and national uncertainty. This complex mix of ambition and obligation shaped his journey as he stepped into the role of Richie Cunningham, setting the stage for what would become a beloved television series.
It's working! Now he has seen the eye of ISIS.
During the time when the draft was still in action, many young men faced the unsettling reality of being called to serve in the Vietnam War. For Ron Howard, who was well known for his role as Richie Cunningham in the television series Happy Days, there was a significant concern about being drafted. Uncle Sam was not offering student deferments to college students, which meant that Howard could be sent off to Vietnam at any moment. However, there was a loophole that provided some relief. If a young man was employed by a company with more than 30 employees, he could qualify for a draft exemption. This was crucial for Howard, as Paramount Pictures, the studio producing Happy Days, was a large company with enough staff that losing their star actor to the draft would leave many without work. This situation allowed Ron Howard to sign on to play the beloved character Richie Cunningham, ultimately shaping his career and providing him with a unique opportunity during a tumultuous time in American history. The combination of his talent and the circumstances surrounding the draft made it possible for him to continue his work in television while many of his peers faced uncertainty.
Dignity, the occasion. You know, usually Laverne and Shirley don't get along so good, and they,
When Henry Winkler received the call back for the role of Arthur Fonzarelli, he was filled with a mix of excitement and anxiety. The moment he arrived for the audition, he was taken aback to see Mickey Dolenz, the former drummer of the Monkees, also in the running for the part. Winkler's heart sank as he thought to himself, "Oh crap, I'm never going to get this job because Mickey Dolenz is here." Dolenz had a well-known career and a charming presence that made Winkler feel outmatched. The pressure of competing against someone with such a strong background in entertainment weighed heavily on him. As he waited for his turn, Winkler couldn't help but reflect on the significance of the role and how it could change his life. He envisioned the character of Fonzie, a cool and confident figure who would become a beloved icon in television history. Despite his nerves, Winkler focused on what he could bring to the character. He wanted to portray Fonzie with authenticity and a unique flair that would set him apart. When it was finally his turn to audition, Winkler poured all his energy into the performance, channeling the essence of the character. He knew that the audition was not just about winning the role, but also about expressing his passion for acting. In that moment, he pushed aside his doubts and concentrated on delivering a memorable portrayal that would resonate with the casting directors. The competition was fierce, but Winkler's determination and talent shone through, leaving a lasting impression that would ultimately change the course of his career. Gary Marshall originally envisioned Mickey Dolenz for the iconic role of Fonzie in the beloved television series Happy Days. This decision stemmed from Dolenz' memorable appearance as a biker on the popular show Adam 12, which showcased his ability to embody a tough, rebellious character. However, a significant challenge arose due to Dolenz' height. At 6 feet tall, he would tower over Ron Howard, who portrayed Richie Cunningham, and stood at 5'9". This height difference led the producers to reconsider their choice. Ultimately, Henry Winkler was cast as Fonzie, and his portrayal became a defining aspect of the show. Winkler's performance brought a unique charm and charisma to the character, making him one of the most memorable figures in television history. Now, when fans think of Fonzie, they cannot imagine anyone else in that role, as Winkler's interpretation is so deeply ingrained in the cultural landscape of the 1970s and beyond. Henry Winkler faced significant challenges throughout his early life, particularly when it came to reading and learning lines for his roles. Despite his talent and dedication, he struggled with his scripts on the set of Happy Days. This difficulty stemmed from his undiagnosed dyslexia, which made reading a daunting task. In school, no matter how hard he worked or how much effort he put into his studies, he found himself falling behind. His self-esteem took a serious hit as he compared himself to his peers who seemed to grasp reading and writing with ease. It was not until he turned 31 that he finally discovered the root of his struggles. The diagnosis of dyslexia brought a sense of relief, as it helped him understand why he had faced such hurdles. This revelation allowed him to approach his craft with a new perspective, acknowledging his challenges while also embracing his strengths. Winkler's journey highlights the importance of understanding and addressing learning disabilities, especially in the world of performance where reading is essential.
That's where the money is.
Just go on.
During the audition for Happy Days, Henry Winkler faced a unique challenge. He was given only 6 lines to read, but he struggled to interpret them correctly. Instead of sticking to the script, Winkler decided to improvise completely. The producers were taken aback when he delivered lines that were not part of the original text. They pointed out to him multiple times that his lines deviated from what was written. However, Winkler remained confident and quick on his feet. He explained to the producers that while he might not be following the script, he was capturing the essence of the character he was auditioning for. His ability to think creatively in that moment showcased his talent. He assured them that if he were cast in the role, he would perform the lines exactly as intended. This moment of improvisation became a defining feature of Winkler's portrayal of the iconic character Arthur Fonzie Fonzarelli. His charm and charisma helped make Happy Days a beloved series that resonated with audiences. Winkler's approach to his audition highlighted the importance of creativity and adaptability in acting, setting the stage for a memorable career.
She did to Caesar. That's what I want to do. I want to Caesar. What's this? Fun.
In the 1970s, the character of Fonzie, played by Henry Winkler, became an iconic figure on the television series Happy Days. One of the most memorable aspects of Fonzie's character was his hairstyle. At that time, it was a common stereotype for greasers and hoodlums to be constantly combing their hair, which could make them seem ordinary and predictable. Winkler felt that this cliché would undermine the uniqueness of Fonzie. To counter this, he devised a clever gag that would highlight Fonzie's coolness and confidence. In a scene, Fonzie would approach a mirror with a comb in hand, only to look at his reflection and shrug, as if to say his hair was already perfect without any effort. This simple yet effective gag resonated with the studio audience, eliciting laughter and applause. The moment captured the essence of Fonzie's character, effortlessly cool and self-assured. As a result, this gag became a trademark of Fonzie, further solidifying his status as a beloved character in television history. The combination of Winkler's performance and the clever writing made Fonzie's hairstyle gag a standout moment in the series, contributing to the show's lasting legacy in pop culture.
You see, the truth is, Marion and Chachi.
Although the character of Fonzie is known for his cool demeanor and love for motorcycles, the actor who played him, Henry Winkler, had a completely different relationship with bikes. In fact, Winkler was terrified of motorcycles. This fear created an interesting dynamic during the filming of Happy Days. While Fonzie often rode his motorcycle with confidence and style, Winkler's anxiety meant that many of the scenes featuring him on the bike were not as they appeared. To ensure that the character's legendary rides looked authentic, without putting Winkler in a position that made him uncomfortable, the production team came up with a clever solution. Most of the scenes of Fonzie riding were shot with the motorcycle attached to a trailer or some type of platform. This setup allowed the bike to be pulled by a truck, giving the illusion that Fonzie was riding freely on the open road. This creative approach not only kept Winkler safe, but also maintained the character's iconic image as the ultimate cool guy of the 1950s. The contrast between Winkler's personal feelings and Fonzie's bravado added a layer of depth to the show's production, showcasing how actors often navigate their fears while bringing beloved characters to life. The clever filming techniques used in Happy Days highlight the lengths to which the crew went to create a believable world, all while accommodating the unique challenges faced by the actors involved.
I'm gonna nail you, Fonzarelli. I'm gonna stick to you.
As the series' Happy Days progressed, Fonzie emerged as the lifeblood of the show, capturing the hearts of viewers with his cool demeanor and streetwise charm. His character became a cultural icon, representing a blend of rebellion and warmth that resonated with audiences. The show's creator, Gary Marshall, recognized Fonzie's growing influence and was approached with an idea to use this popularity for a greater purpose. In one memorable episode, Fonzie decided to visit the library to check out a book, a move that surprised many given his reputation as someone who was not particularly academic. This episode aimed to convey a positive message about reading, emphasizing that knowledge is accessible to everyone, regardless of their background. Fonzie's response to this situation was simple, yet powerful. He asserted that everybody is allowed to read. This moment highlighted his character's depth and the show's ability to address important themes while still entertaining its audience. Fonzie's actions not only entertained, but also inspired young viewers to appreciate the value of reading, showcasing the impact a beloved character can have on societal attitudes.
Pretty cool. It was a dream come true. Then 2 days later, it was over. I was cut. Why? Those guys were just...
It's been widely circulated that after a particular episode of the 1974 TV series Happy Days aired, there was a dramatic increase in the issuance of library cards across the country, reported to be as high as 500%. This story has become an urban legend, capturing the imagination of many fans and viewers. The episode in question is often remembered for its focus on the importance of reading and education, which supposedly inspired countless viewers to rush to their local libraries. However, the reality is quite different. The claim that library card issuance soared after the episode is not accurate at all. There is no concrete evidence or data to support this assertion, making it a complete myth. Despite its popularity, this story continues to be told, illustrating how urban legends can take on a life of their own. They often reflect societal values or trends, such as the importance of literacy, but in this case, the connection to Happy Days is purely fictional. The show's charm and nostalgic appeal have allowed it to remain a beloved part of television history, while the urban legend surrounding library cards serves as a reminder of how stories can evolve and persist over time.
What's the matter?
Can we switch sides? You see, I'm right-handed.
Initially, ABC had concerns about how the character Fonzie would be perceived by the audience. They feared that he might come across as a hoodlum or a criminal due to his tough demeanor. Because of these worries, the show's producers decided to prevent him from wearing his iconic leather jacket in the early episodes. Instead, viewers saw him dressed in a non-threatening gray windbreaker. This choice was not random. The original windbreaker Fonzie wore resembled the jacket made famous by James Dean, who was a significant influence and idol for the character. As the show progressed and Fonzie's popularity grew, the studio recognized the need to embrace his true style. Eventually, they introduced the leather jacket that has since become synonymous with the character. This change played a crucial role in solidifying Fonzie's status as a television icon. His leather jacket not only defined his character but also became a symbol of coolness and rebellion in the 1970s. The transformation from the windbreaker to the leather jacket marked a turning point for the character and the show, helping to shape the cultural landscape of the era and leaving a lasting legacy in television history.
My hula hoop! Shortcake, thank you.
Henry Winkler shared that he drew inspiration from Sylvester Stallone when developing the character of Fonzie in the beloved TV series Happy Days. Winkler had the opportunity to work alongside Stallone in the film The Lords of Flatbush, where he observed Stallone's unique movements and speech patterns. This influence helped shape Fonzie into the iconic character that fans came to love. However, Winkler made a personal vow regarding his portrayal of Fonzie. he decided that he would never comb his hair on camera, which became a signature aspect of the character's cool demeanor. Additionally, Winkler chose not to have a pack of cigarettes rolled up in his t-shirt sleeve, a common trope associated with the tough guy image of the time. By making these choices, Winkler created a character that stood out as both charming and rebellious, reflecting the spirit of the 1950s, while also remaining relatable to the audience. Fonzie became a cultural icon, and Winkler's commitment to his character helped solidify the show's place in television history.
Come on, let's go to Sting, man. I'm gonna get him for this.
The popularity of Happy Days was remarkable and had a significant impact on music and culture. One of the most notable effects was the resurgence of the song Rock Around the Clock, originally released by Bill Haley and the Comets in 1955. This classic rock and roll song had been a #1 hit when it first came out, capturing the spirit of the 1950s. However, in 1974, thanks to the influence of Happy Days, the song made a surprising return to the pop charts after 19 years. It reached number 39, showcasing how the show connected with audiences and reignited interest in the music of that era. The series, set in the 1950s and early 1960s, celebrated the youth culture of that time, and its characters embodied the fun and carefree spirit that resonated with viewers. This revival of Rock Around the Clock is just one example of how Happy Days not only entertained, but also influenced the music landscape, reminding a new generation of the joys of rock and roll. The show's ability to bridge generations through its nostalgic themes and catchy tunes solidified its place in television history, making it a cultural phenomenon that extended beyond the small screen.
I'm sorry, it slipped out.
I am betrothed.
Many of the names used in the show Happy Days were inspired by real-life experiences of creator Gary Marshall. His personal connections influenced the characters that became beloved by audiences. For instance, the character Potsy Weber was named after a kid who attended school with Marshall's wife. This connection added a layer of authenticity to the show, making the characters feel more relatable and grounded in reality. Richie Cunningham, another central character, was modeled after a nice boy who went to the same church as Marshall. This further illustrates how Marshall drew from his own life to create engaging stories and characters. However, the character known as Fonzie had a different origin story. Fonzie's original name was supposed to be Arthur Mascarelli, which was inspired by Marshall's own surname. Yet, when it came time to develop the character, the name Mascarelli just didn't have the same appeal. It lacked the catchy quality needed for a character who would become a cultural icon. The abbreviation MASH simply did not resonate as well as the FONZ. Recognizing this, Marshall made the decision to change the name to Fonzie, and that choice ultimately shaped the character's legacy. The rest, as they say, is history.
Respect you as a person. For crying out loud, I feel like I'm in church.